It's been almost a decade since Dead Island 2 was announced, and in that time the game has been passed from pillar to post before settling with Dambuster Studios as the final developer. We got the opportunity to spend 5 hours with the game, which it turns out is plenty of time to get a feel for its vision of zombie-infested LA. Aside from the limited number of quests available, nothing was out of bounds for this preview. Every character, weapon, skill card, zombie type and more was available as they would be in the full release. Of course, only experiencing the first 5 or 6 hours of the game, there is sure to be plenty we didn't get the chance to see yet. Set in the post-apocalyptic city of Los Angeles, or as the developers have dubbed it, Hell A, Dead Island 2 immediately strikes you with its gorgeous visuals and vibrant colour palette. Even in a world filled with the undead, the streets and mansions of LA really make for a fun setting. With 6 main characters to choose from, I found myself stuck for choice, especially considering that there was no turning back once selected. Not only did I need to take each character's attributes into consideration, but I also had to decide how I wanted to play Dead Island 2. Was I going to go the brute force path and pick Ryan, or the fast-paced and agile approach of Amy? Ultimately, I settled with Jacob, mainly because his stats seemed to be pretty well rounded, so I felt like I could be equipped for any sort of situation I got myself into. There was also the matter of each player's starting skill cards. Even though the 2 starting cards assigned to each character couldn't be changed, I did have the opportunity to build out my deck and alter it throughout the course of my playthrough. Dambuster said they want players to play Dead Island 2 in their own way, which was clearly the core inspiration for the newly introduced skill cards. As well as the replayability factor the cards brought with them, they're all about complementing the way you, as an individual, decide to play. Want to bombard your way through a bunch of zombies? You'll need the ground and pound card. Or are you trying to be quick and nimble in your onslaught? Then you'll want the group therapy card, which allows you to regain stamina when slaying zombies in quick succession. Although the skill cards seemed like a simple rehash of the RPG genre's usual skill tree, it was nice to be given the option to build my deck however I wanted it. It was clear that the developers had gone all in with the replayability factor, and not just through the various different deck builds you could have, but with the vastly different character attributes too. Something that will immediately stand out to anyone playing Dead Island 2, aside from the bright streets of LA, is the procedural flesh system, which stands for Fully Locational Evisceration System for Humanoids. I'd heard plenty about it beforehand, but no news articles or explanations do it as much justice as simply seeing it in action. Once I'd been let loose and left to my own devices, I'd been tasked with travelling through some classic, over-the-top LA mansions, where I encountered my first batch of roaming zombies. A slow, stumbling walker made its way towards me. I pulled out a lead pipe, timed my swing, and smacked that son of a bitch right across the face. Like something straight out of a George Romero movie, the zombie turned back towards me, flesh peeled and jaw dangling horribly from its face. I was blown away at how gory the details were. Dambuster Studios is not playing around when it comes to the gore, they've gone all in. The flesh system isn't just visually pleasing, it also has an effect on gameplay. With so many different types of zombies roaming the streets, how you choose to attack them plays an important role. The flesh system means that you can maim a runner zombie with a timed swing to the kneecaps, preventing it from doing its main thing, which is running. And yet, even though Dead Island 2 quite literally lets you watch a zombie's flesh melt from its bones after being set on fire, it didn't really leave me wanting more. Even in just 5 or 6 hours of playtime, the fun began to wear off once I realised this was, ultimately, just another zombie game with some added extra gore. The story, which revolves around your character being bitten and finding out they're immune, is at this point overdone and cliched. The writing is cheesy and, quite frankly, I just felt like I was playing Dying Light without the parkour. Of course, this is just a preview and we can't judge the full product yet, but based on the first 5 hours so far, it's hard to see the story taking a drastic turn and becoming anything special. A poorly written story can usually be overlooked if there's some brilliant combat to make up for it. Unfortunately, during my time with Dead Island 2, there wasn't really anything beaming with innovation. It's certainly an improvement from its predecessor, but that game's what, 13, 14 years old now? Jump, dodge, kick, drop kick, swing, everything you could do in 2015's Dying Light, minus the parkour. After a few hours, it all starts to get quite repetitive. With that being said, I did find that there were some Hitman-esque environmental elements to play around with, which broke up the monotony of swinging at zombies. The final boss battle of my preview took place in a Hollywood studio lot, where I was able to employ the help of a van rigged with explosives, fire-blazing gas pumps, and a giant prop spider that shot water. I wish I didn't spend so much of my time comparing Dead Island 2 with the Dying Light series, but it's hard not to. The skill cards are a nice touch, and the flesh system should appeal to everyone's sadistic side, but Dead Island 2 feels like it's just going to be another bog standard zombie game to throw on the pile. There is some dumb fun to be had with Dead Island 2, but my initial impressions lead me to believe that this game would have benefited from coming out when it was supposed to, about 8 years ago. And that is the end of this preview. Thanks, as always, for taking the time to watch, and I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, why not stick around for more? Hit the like and subscribe buttons below and give the bell icon a tap so that you get notified whenever we've got new stuff for you to watch. I've been Chris, you've been gorgeous, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, my dears.